getting ready to buy your first home. What are some things that you recommend for people who are looking to get into their first home?
Oh, this is good. 2 years out, when you know you're gonna buy your house, 2 years out, start paying down debt. Don't open up any more lines of credit. If you, I mean, I told one person they were like about to buy a house and their car broke down. I said, listen, try to go buy a used hoopty. Seriously, don't try to buy
Mm,
right now. Don't buy another car until you get into your house. Listen, before my wife and I bought our house, my AC unit in my car went out completely. It wasn't working. They tried to put free on it. It just wasn't working. What I did, and it was summertime. It was hot in New York. It was like 90, 98 degrees. I just left early, like 6 o'clock in the morning, rolled the windows down. And go. I stayed there until like 7 o'clock at night when the sun was
Till the
about to
sun go down.
pulled all the windows down and drove real fast. Because what happens sometimes is, depending on where your credit is, if you start opening other lines of credit, right, then it impacts your credit score,
Right.
right? So I'd say pay down debt, right? If you got cards, we try to tell people to get them down under 20%, under at least a 20% utilization, right?
mm,
So if you have $1,000 line, try to get it where it's $800 on that line that's available,
right,
because that stuff kind of boosts your credit score, right?
right,
Don't open up any more lines. Put some money away for the down payment and closing, because depending on which state you're in, which state you live in, closing costs can be a lot. And then just be ready to once you get that letter, once you get that approval letter, be ready to go visit. We visited, I want to say, 30 houses before we found our house.
Wow.
wow,
Our agent literally, and my wife and I both work. So our agent every day literally was like calling us like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or texting us saying, hey, meet me at this address tonight. And then we would leave that address and go to two other places. Right.
wow.
So we did that for about almost 2 or 3 weeks straight. Every night, Monday through Friday, we were going to either two houses or three houses after work.
Wow.
And my wife couldn't get there, I went. If I couldn't get there, she went. You know what I'm saying? So just be prepared, because that notice, that approval letter is only good for 90 days.
Right.
After the 90 days is up, you got to get another pre-approval letter. So that's why
Right.
you mess with anything you're a credit. But ideally, 2 years, 18 months to 2 years before you know you're gonna buy a house, attack your debt furiously. Attack.
Mm,
Get that, you if you got credit cards, get that utilization down under at least to 20%. If you got student loans, one thing that I did, my understanding is that the law changed now. One thing I did with my student loans is, when I knew we were getting ready to buy the house, we were like 6 months out. I called a student loan company and I said, I need to go on
furrow.
deferment, right? So I don't
Mhm.
need to make any payments. What that did at that time, when you're on deferment, they're not reporting to your credit agency anymore, right? And then most importantly, that dollar amount that you're supposed to pay every month doesn't get factored in to your income to debt ratio. Now
Right. Right.
that law is different. It's like, my understanding now is, I talked to a mortgage broker a few months ago, and he says now what they do is, if you have a student loan, whether it's on deferment or not, they take 1% of whatever the total is, and they add it into your income to debt ratio, so it can kind of
Mm.
numbers off, right? So you
Yeah.
be aware of that, and then find your team. Find your team ahead of time. Find a reliable broker, right? Find a reliable mortgage person, and find a real estate agent. Our broker, I mean, what sold me on him was, he came to our house. He knew I'm self-employed. We work late. My wife was employed. When we filled out all the information, this is obviously before COVID. What he did is, he came to our house and he said, call me. And he was like, listen, so what time you guys get in? I said, yo, we get in like maybe like 9:30. He was like, all right, I'll be at your house at 10 o'clock at night. And I looked at my wife, I'm like, this dude ain't coming at 10 o'clock. At 10:01, ding dong. And he came with a stack of papers. This is after we had already we had already gone through the process.
Yeah.
Came with a stack of papers like this, and he didn't rush us through the process. He took it page by page. He said, "This is what this is. Sign this. This is what this is." He left our house at 12:01 that night,
Wow.
or should I say that morning? I was sold. That's my mortgage guy for life,
Yeah.
right? Because I was sold. The service that he offered was wonderful, and you got to have a real estate agent, because the real estate agent, while you're working, they're supposed to be working on your behalf to find you places so that you can go visit. If your real estate agent isn't calling you and you're always calling them, you need to get rid of that person.
Mm.
We told our
Good
real estate,
advice.
yeah, we told our real estate agent what we were looking for in the areas we were looking for, and she went to work. And like I said, every day we went through 3 real estate agents. 3. The
Wow.
first 2 didn't do that. They probably were doing it part time, which is nothing wrong. I don't knock a hustle. If you're doing it part time, that's fine. But let us know that, right? We ready to rock and roll after work. I'm like, okay, where are we going? And they're like, well, let's do it on Saturday. Well, it's Monday. People buy houses every day of the week.
Yeah.
But this last one, she did it. She did it full time. So we told her what we wanted, and then, like I said, every day by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, she was texting us, "Meet me at this address tonight. As soon as you get off work. What time do you get off? As soon as you get off work, meet me at this address." And we would go look at the houses, and then, like I said, we would go to like either another house or 2 other houses that same night.
Wow. That's
That's
dope.
what I would say if you're looking for a house, and don't fall in love with the first one.
Yeah.
Never fall in love with the first one, right?
Yeah.
And then you can buy your crib. As long as you know what you want, you'll get what you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's great advice.
Well, that's good stuff.